We are recording.
Vegas Daydrakers episode 3. Here we go.
Here with my buddy Chris Sines.
Darren Benjamin on the MIC.
That's right.
On a gloomy Monday in middle December.
It is very winter-ish for Las Vegas, even though that's like a oxymoron because we don't ever get winter here.
The sun is out, but are the buns out? I don't know. We're not at a strip property right now. Let's jump right into it. The weekend just wrapped up. NFR, after being here for 10 days, was another successful mission.
Hell yeah, it was very good. I mean, monetarily as a bartender,
Yeah,
and most of them are Class X. I think you had a very good clientele.
we're both at the airport. We definitely felt the presence yesterday with the volume of people going through that were going home from all over the country and the world, for that matter, after the wrap up Saturday night at Thomas and Mack.
Yeah, it went out with a bang. I heard. So I don't follow it much, but I heard a young kid walked away with most of the prizes.
Yeah,
$108,000, something like that.
I'm right behind you, and I don't follow too much train.
Maybe we ought to.
Yes.
I have been at the Silverton or the South Point during the festivities, and it is wild in there. Let me tell you.
I talked to the chief marketing officer at the airport bar on Saturday for Boot Barn, and not having been in Boot Barn on South Las Vegas Boulevard myself for quite some years, I asked him very naively how many boot barns there were in the country, and would you garnish a guess,
For how many boot barns?
in the country?
I would say 100.
Well, your guess is better than mine. Over 450 boot barns. Yeah. I was like,
What?
I was astonished. So.
I think I owned a pair of boots once when I was like 2 years old.
Right. Well, I mean,
4 years old.
Cowboy Christmas could definitely help that. But I was a nice guy. He just came in to get a sandwich, have a chat, and then we did a modified grilled cheese for his son that was 3 years old. So amongst the small talk, yeah, over 450 boot barns through the country. So shame on me, shame on you.
We're in the wrong business, Chris.
I know. Yeah. Wrangler butts and ropers. Let's talk about some things going on in the immediacy. As the NFL wraps up its regular season, there's 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. The Falcons of Atlanta are in town with the lowly Raiders. I say lowly not because I despise them, but more so because their record.
Yeah, you despise them because of the rivalry.
That's
right?
true. That's true. I won't hide that. But Antonio Pierce has a mission ahead of him as the head coach. I don't know who's starting as quarterback, if it's still the third string or if Aiden O'Connell's healed. I think Max Crosby is out with knee-ending surgery also. So kind of the faces of the organization as the season began so many weeks ago. I mean, obviously, Devontae is not even a player with the team anymore. And then Max is out. And just who knows, it's going to be another interesting offseason for the Raiders organization.
So speaking of football, how do you feel about your boy from last night getting taken out off the field?
It just adds to the narrative of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure electrostim and some good drugs. There was conversation I was listening to NFL XM on the way over here about if they maybe just potentially sit him against Houston this weekend on the Saturday game and let him rest up for the bigger game for the Steelers on Christmas Day.
I wonder I would like to be a fly on the wall in one of those rooms, like what kind of access they have that we don't, because obviously they're very rich.
Right.
Anyway.
Some sort of modern treatment that he's over in Germany for right now. Yeah. It's his gym and it's the best. So.
They knock him out like B.A. Baracus on a plane to the A-team. Like, we will fix him.
He's the face of the league. So that's a big sporting event tonight at Allegiant. And then the NBA's in-season tournament, the Emirates Cup, wraps up tomorrow night at T-Mobile with, I believe, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Milwaukee Bucks playing for all the roses.
Don't you mean the Seattle Supersonics, Chris Sines?
I mean, if I was Sean Kemp, perhaps.
I've never given up.
Yeah.
I've never given up.
Well, Adam Silver has said that for the NBA to continue to grow, that the expansion teams will be Seattle and Las Vegas. So I think sooner than later, definitely before the end of the decade, Vegas and potentially Seattle will see a team.
So any other news that you'd like to discuss this week, Mr. Sines?
News specifically, let's see, not too much going on as it is, like, NFR, as we prefaced earlier, kind of is the last big event of the year. Vegas kind of goes into a hibernation period for a couple of weeks until the 26th or 27th, when if you're not here, it doesn't mean we won't be here, because we'll still do a podcast because we love talking.
That's right.
But in those 2 weeks, even some of the restaurants on the strip close just because the numbers are so low. But again, like the 26th or 27th, people start loading back in for the New Year's.
I remember the guys from Gift Savoy used to bring, they used to close for 2 weeks, and they would empty out their kitchen, clean the whole thing. They'd clean out the coolers, and they would bring all the leftovers to McMillan's. And we're talking about one of the fanciest French restaurants in the world.
Oh, of course.
And they would bring caviar and all kinds of crazy stuff that I would get to sample. It was lovely.
I think I remember when that first opened, however many years ago, the Caesar's Palace paid $9 million for the build out of that restaurant alone.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
It's a highfalutin number, but it's a highfalutin foie gras.
Yes.
Would like to take a moment now and talk about one of the Facebook posts we made last week in our Facebook group, the Vegas Day Drinkers Club. If you haven't joined, please check us out. Keyword search us. We're growing and have big plans and intentions in 2025. The question was, what Vegas bar that is no longer a Vegas bar was one of your favorites? And so it got quite a few responses. I'm just going to read from the list here. Some of them I've heard from, some of them I haven't. We had the Elbow Room, never heard of. Brando's, Ricardo's. My buddy Juan used to work there, great guy. Apache Joe's, Marker Down, hadn't heard of. Outpost, the Coachman Inn, Bilbo's, Alpine Village, Glitter Gulch, Quirks, and BJ's. So for all that you responded, thank you so much. That helps the algorithm. I remember being a kid headed to Europe and a gentleman talking about the Alpine Village, but I think it's long since burnt down.
Yeah, I don't even remember it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
the ones on the list that I remember distinctly going to BJ's on a lingerie night in the early 2000s.
As you should.
Yes, and I was fascinated by the fact that Vegas had lingerie nights at their local pubs. So I was like, this is amazing.
And that local brand BJ's has since, I think they had 5 properties in the Valley that have distributed and sold to different gaming companies. I know.
Yeah, I think it's a Jackpot Jonies now or something like that.
The one that was referenced, I believe, is a Red Dragon on Trop and Koval.
Yes, that's the one that actually I worked with a gentleman, John Fonster, that worked there for quite a long time. Yeah.
And then there was the other one down on Decatur, Cross Street, I forget, but is now a Village Pub.
Yep.
There was one on one of the feeder roads to the 215, which that's become so many different quote-unquote gaming bars, I don't even know what to tell you it is now.
Yeah, true.
Just a bad idea because it's a hard spot to get to.
I remember Brando's on Blue Diamond. Blue Diamond, that was a Detroit-style bar. Wasn't it Detroit? Chicago, that's right. But they served Detroit-style pizza.
That's right. And then when they had Blackhawks had their run back in the middle 2015-16s, that was a fun bar to go to see all the Chicago fans.
Yeah, small but lively.
Yeah. That's and then obviously, did I even mention it? I mean, Mailman, give a shout out to your Glitter Gulch girls. And then
we used to have a regular at McMillan's that was one of the cocktailers there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, / bartenders, and she was a riot. Yeah, she loved Jason, which was one of our fellow bartenders at McMillan's back in the day. Glitter Gulch was something else. And before we transition to the next, I wanted to say Quarks, obviously, is where I used to work, which was the Star Trek Experience. And it's made the list a number of times of most missed attractions in Las Vegas. So
yeah,
that's my shout out to that.
That's obviously Darren's wheelhouse as I sit in the recording studio with Trek stuff all around me.
So transitioning to the next subject, if you don't mind, Glitter Gulch is now
Circa.
Well, it's also Tiki Bar. It's called what's it called? Tiki Gulch. Tiki Gulch, I believe it's called.
I'm not sure because there has been an infusion of tiki bars here in the last couple of years, but it is a good transition because for what we've known forever as Golden Tiki on Spring Mountain and then Frankie's over there on Charleston by UMC, suddenly we have the one that Darren referenced. Then we also have Stray Pirate down in the Arts District, Glitter Gulch somewhere on 4th Street, and excuse my pronunciation, but Toto Bien at sounds more residential area. I just kind of looked at their website briefly before recording. but an infusion of tiki bars within a short amount of time. So obviously that's a trend that's ticking up in the culture.
Yeah, I mean, it's been ticking up for a long time. I heard rumors that Trader Vic's was coming back into the scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just got a huge infusion of cash.
Okay.
And, off a la John Taffer, like his brands, so I'm sure it's, Middle East money or something like that. But like, Abu Dhabi or Dubai or something like that. But somebody bought into it, and they're gonna be opening another Trader Vic's here in town if they already haven't.
It wasn't Taffer's brown butter bourbon sales that were taking up the occupancy lease.
Yeah. What was the other one? Did we mention Golden Tiki, which is obviously a crowd pleaser?
Yes. Fantastic room. They always have live events. Cocktails often. I mean, that whole strip mall, that model is just generated by them, and then that Mr. Lee sandwiches in there, and so many other businesses.
There's Double Zero Pizza now, and then there's the taco shop that has the drug tunnel that takes you to the speakeasy. It's called something taco.
Mas por favor.
Mas por favor. That's the one.
I mean, it's Vegas, so why wouldn't you have a drug tunnel?
That shopping center, by the way, is just got some of the best bars and restaurants in town, and that parking lot is the busiest parking lot in Las Vegas, I believe. It's insane on the weekend.
And free parking still.
Free parking, but it is a nightmare. You're better off parking across the street and taking your chances going across Spring Valley.
Get froggered for free parking, so take your chances. Hey, no parking fee, but a headache. It's just sign up now.
That's funny. My favorite is Red Dwarf, though. Pound for pound.
Yeah, Russell did a good job over there. Kind of off the strip and just kind of away from everything over there off of Maryland.
Very divey.
Yeah.
Very divey. Kind of like almost Double Downy, but not that scummy, I don't think.
Yeah, dive bar meets kind of steampunk meets tiki meets, to his point, Double Downy. So he's got a few elements working in there, but he's seemingly done well.
Yeah.
I mean, DB here has been over there for pizza several times. I've taken people, kind of one of my off-strip trips for seeing stuff that you wouldn't normally see. Simple things.
Simple things in life.
All right. We don't have too much further in this week. As we said, we've been both running around kind of crazy, rampant, getting ready for the holidays, but we wanted to get back with you folks. We appreciate the downloads as we move forward. We're going to bring more content to you later this week or early next week before we go into the holidays full on, as we continue our JOBs and the DAY until this takes off. And then I say, I don't care why.
So make sure you keep posting those day drinking photos on Facebook, letting us know where you're drinking. And then maybe we'll see you at the bars. Yeah,
a lot of holiday cocktails coming up, so share those because it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Chris hasn't even got started on his wonderful eggnog yet.
I was thinking about doing a Bailey's alternative.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, here's to trying it in the future.
Yeah, and then nut bread mission coming up soon, too. Yeah. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. All right, thanks, everybody. See you next time.
All right.